We are going to welcome Mohan RAM. He's going to talk about simplifying cloud products, lessons from DigitalOcean. I'm inviting him to the stage. Alkışlarınızla kendisini sahneye davet ediyorum.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Mohan, I take care of partnerships at DigitalOcean. A quick show of hands, how many of you have heard of DigitalOcean or used DigitalOcean? Okay, okay, thank you. And some of you haven't, so hopefully the next 19-20 minutes, I'll be able to speak to you about DigitalOcean and give you some information about the company that we are part of. So, just to introduce the company, DigitalOcean is a cloud hosting provider, infrastructure as a service provider. We are headquartered in New York. We were started in 2012 and recently completed about 7 years of existence just last month. As of today, we have more than 1 million developers on our platform. And then we've raised funding about $123 million, close to about 500 employees. We're a very remote friendly company. In fact, about 40% of our employees work and live anywhere around the world. In fact, we have some employees based in Turkey. And I was speaking to somebody who was interested in applying for DigitalOcean recently. As of today, more than 80 million droplets have been spun up on our platform. Droplets are nothing but VPS. We started off as a VPS provider, virtual private servers, and we call them droplets. And today, we are the third largest and fastest growing cloud platform in the world. When you look at this slide, what is the one thing that comes to your mind first? Any answers? Sorry? What does that mean? Too much? Yeah? Anybody else? What comes to your mind? Okay, so it's a lot of tools out there. So that's what I'm trying to say. When you as a startup founder or a developer want to kind of go and build something new, there are so many options you have today, right? Hundreds and hundreds of software products that are available to you. And what we believe is software developers are overloaded with complex infrastructure. For everything, you have a different software, and just putting it all together and making it work becomes just more and more complex. And DigitalOcean, in spite of many other cloud providers that were already there when we were started to simplify it. We believe simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. As Leonardo da Vinci said, keeping things simple is extremely complex, right? You can make things very complicated, you can keep adding products, you can keep adding features and make things more and more complex. But keeping things simple, as you all will realize and might have already realized, is very complicated, and we try to do that. Couple of things that we focus on and why a lot of developers and a lot of startups use us is because we focus on simplicity, how to make it really user-friendly, how to make infrastructure intuitive, and we focus a lot on community. We believe in the power of the community, and one of the values at DigitalOcean is that our community is bigger than just us. So we focus a lot on education, we focus a lot on providing value to our community, bringing our community together so that they can learn from each other, right? So there's a lot of focus on community engagement, and I'll talk about it in the next couple of slides. Service, right? While there are a whole lot of other cloud providers, what really differentiates DigitalOcean is our human touch, our support, which is 24/7, and we try to approach our customers from a very human kind of an approach, and a lot of customers vouch for our support. And also our focus on open source technologies. While some of the other cloud providers focus more on proprietary software and trying to kind of lock in, or what you call vendor lock-in, we try to focus more on open source technologies. In fact, a lot of the software that is built within the DigitalOcean at our company and what we use is all built on open source technologies. So we're big proponents of the open source software movement that is happening. And the next thing is, a lot of small and medium-sized businesses don't have big DevOps teams. I'm sure a lot of you have small tech teams, small DevOps teams managing big infrastructures, and we want to eliminate the need to hire a lot of people just to manage infrastructure, right? We feel all of you should be focusing on your business and not so much just kind of managing infrastructure. And why customers love us? Because we give them a really simple and robust infrastructure experience, right? We started off as a one product company. We started off with just Droplets, which was really well known in the industry when we launched. We launched it for $5 a month, right? SSD servers, $5 a month. And even today, our base plan starts at $5 a month. And we've kept that pricing, which today is being replicated by a lot of the other players in the market. And over the years, just listening to our customers and what they want to build, we've added a lot of new products, right? Very recently, we've added load balancers, firewalls, block storage, one-click applications, and then a lot of managed services. One thing we weren't doing was we were an infrastructure as a service provider, so there was still a lot of management of infrastructure that was required. What our customers were telling us was we make it even more simpler, right? So a lot of managed services was required, and we recently introduced managed databases, managed Kubernetes, and also Spaces, which is our object storage offering. Around the world, we have about 12 data centers, and the closest to Turkey and Istanbul would be the ones in Frankfurt, London, and Amsterdam. And that brings me to my topic, right? What is simplifying the cloud, and what has DigitalOcean learned in terms of just simplifying the cloud? What are our key takeaways? And hopefully this will be valuable to all of you in the audience, right? I want to speak about something called growth loops, right? Earlier, when we were talking about companies, when all of you, I'm sure, are thinking about how to grow your business, how to bring in more customers, right? Earlier, we would have this, what you would see on the left-hand side, a sort of a funnel, right? Everything is a funnel. You bring in customers, you kind of engage them, get them to sign up to your platform, get them to use your products, and then nurture them, and then they become paying customers. So that used to be the traditional funnel that a lot of people used to follow in terms of marketing and all of that. But more recently, what is a newer trend is what is called growth loops. Growth loops is where you bring in a new customer, the customer does a particular action, performs a particular action that leads to a certain output, which enables you to do the input in a lot bigger fashion. So this becomes a sort of a circular loop, bringing in more and more customers to your businesses, right? So I'll talk about 4 loops that are famous within DigitalOcean. One is called the content loop. Content, good content, and the value of good content. What we do here is we provide content. A lot of customers come to our platform through the content, and then they start using it. They start searching for DigitalOcean tutorials. It leads to better search results. It leads to more users discovering us, and then the loop continues, right? More and more users come onto our platform. That is the content loop, and content loop is something I'm going to be talking about in more detail as we go along. The next is referral loop. We ran a really famous referral program where we would say any new user coming onto our platform would get $10 free of cost on our platform. And you could again use your referral code to refer more users, and every time a person you referred used or billed us for a certain amount, you would get $25 back into your account, right? So that led to a lot of users then referring to other users, which brought in a lot more customers onto our platform. So a referral loop is something that even today we run, and it continues to bring in a lot more new users onto our platform. The next one is paid ads, right? We definitely put a certain amount of money onto our paid ads, where users discover us and then they come onto our platform, which gives us more revenue, which allows us to put more money into paid ads, and that loop continues. And hopefully all of you can replicate this in your businesses as well, right? And the final thing is called Teams loop. We introduced a new feature called Teams, wherein when a user signs up for our platform, he can introduce or add more people to his account or bring in team members. So that brings in more people onto our platform, more users, more products being used, and that also was another loop that was really a growth loop that was really beneficial for us. Just in the interest of time, I have about 10 minutes, so I want to focus on one of these loops and just give you 3 key lessons that we have learned, and I'll talk about our content loop, right? How many of you have read a DigitalOcean tutorial before? Okay, couple of you have, thank you. So I would really urge all of you to go to digitalocean.com and look up our tutorials, right? You don't have to use our platform, just use our tutorials. We have more than 2,000 tutorials which have been published on the platform, and these don't necessarily talk about DigitalOcean products. These talk about anything that a developer needs in terms of spinning up a new language, learning a new language. There's a lot of tutorials on Python and all of those other languages that developers like, right? So anytime a developer or a tech person goes to Google and says, I'm looking for some specific tech content, one of the first 3 results will be a DigitalOcean tutorial, right? That way, month on month, we bring in 3.5 million new users onto the platform, just kind of discovering DigitalOcean, right? They were looking for something technical that probably is related to their work, and they chanced upon a DigitalOcean tutorial. And the percentage is really interesting. About 49% of DigitalOcean customers have read a tutorial before they even sign up, right? So content has worked really well for us, and this is also something that you can replicate in your businesses. Putting out really good content. And how do you do that? So the 3 lessons that we have learned is quality is more than quantity. We've been around for about 7 years and still put out only about 2,000 tutorials, right? That is on a smaller number on the scale of what we could have done, right? But our focus has continuously been on quality, right? If you go and look at these tutorials, and the important thing with content is that you have to keep it updated. You can't say, I put out a tutorial for a certain version and it's been 5 years and that version is no longer being used anymore and I'm still having that. We have to go back and update that content and keep it really relevant so that any user who goes to our platform still can directly use it and read it and use it directly, no questions asked, right? And a lot of other companies, when they try to do content is, they try to give you 5 to 10 different links which take you to different pages. And one thing that we constantly hear from users, what they like about DigitalOcean tutorials, is that everything is on the same tutorial. I don't have to go to multiple other pages. It's all in-depth, very step-by-step procedures of how to execute a certain thing. So I would really request all of you to go and just look up a DigitalOcean tutorial, even though you're not signing up on the platform. Right? So quality is more than quantity. These are things we follow, right? Our basic assumptions for people writing our tutorials is that we make no assumptions about the readers. We say, if you are a brand new beginner, these are things you need to know. We explicitly spell out each step that you must follow, and we test those tutorials on a brand new server, right? And also the tutorial should be understood by any smart user. They need not be a tech person to be able to understand and execute that, because we're trying to simplify the cloud. So those are our guidelines that we follow for putting out tutorials, and these are some of the feedback that we receive from users every day. A lot of people believe that DigitalOcean tutorials are really important to get their work done on a day-to-day basis, right? So content really works, and hiring the right team. In fact, the first person on our content team was a writer. We hired a writer. Basically, she was an English major. Her name is Etel Swerdlov. She was a very strong writer and editor who was just passionate about technology and had no Linux experience. All she was told when she was hired was, here's your Linux command line manual, go read it and write tutorials, right? So hiring the right team is really important, and today this is a growing team that month on month puts out new tutorials that lets a lot of new users discover DigitalOcean and come onto our platform. Leveraging the community, right? We run different programs. We run a program called Write for Donations. We understand that there is only so much content that we can write, but all of you can also write tutorials, right? So we run a program called Write for Donations, where if any of you have any tech expertise can write a tutorial for DigitalOcean, you will get paid, but also you can choose any non-profit that you want to donate to. So easily about $100 per article or $150 per article that you can earn by writing a tutorial for DigitalOcean, right? There is also our editorial team that kind of reviews it, gives feedback, you can improve on that and then make some money, but you can also donate money to your favorite tech non-profit. So it's a double whammy, you can do both, you get some money and also you can donate money. So that's a program that we run. In addition to the team that internally writes content, there is also, we leverage a community of people who are working on a lot of technologies, who have a lot of expertise and want to give back to the community to also grow this database of tutorials that we have. The next thing is our Q&A section. A lot of our users come to our Q&A section to respond to other users' questions. We don't have a support team that manages this, but this is almost self-managed. Our users help each other out and kind of respond to questions that are listed on this Q&A forum. And finally, we run a program called Hacktoberfest. Anybody here who has participated in Hacktoberfest? Anybody? No? Okay, great. So hopefully this year you will sign up. So Hacktoberfest is the largest open source initiative in the world. It's a sort of a hackathon that we run in partnership with GitHub and Twilio, where open source enthusiasts can put out their projects. You are called maintainers, and other open source developers around the world will help you kind of contribute to their project, to your projects, right? So anybody who can put in those 4 pull requests on GitHub gets a really cool t-shirt. We just completed 5 years of running this Hacktoberfest initiative, and year on year we get thousands of new users to come and try DigitalOcean and just contribute to the open source platform. And that's something I would really urge all of you to sign up and become a part of, right? And finally, I want to leave you with what we are trying to do at DigitalOcean. What we want to do is become the #1 cloud for developing modern apps. A lot of innovators, entrepreneurs, developers are trying to build apps. We want to be the go-to cloud when they think about which is the cloud provider that I can go for, that makes it really simple, scalable, flexible, and affordable, right? We want to be that, and we'll continue to innovate and add more new products, and hopefully, if you have not tried DigitalOcean, you'll give it a try. I'll take some questions at the end of it. I have a couple of minutes. I wanted to have 3 quick callouts. If you have never tried DigitalOcean before, you can go to do.co/hostingtalk and sign up for $100 worth of free cloud credits, right? You can go spin up our servers and see how simple it is to get started on DigitalOcean. I know many of you are in the cloud business and hosting business, so even if you want to just experience the platform, I welcome you to kind of sign up for an account and try out our platform. The second thing is we are doing a small event for everybody in Istanbul. This is called Hatch Founders Circle, which is our startup program that I take care of at DigitalOcean. This is on Monday, on 15th April, 6 p.m. at FinCube. You can RSVP on do.co/Istanbul, sign up and do come. We'd love to host you. A lot of DO customers, DigitalOcean customers from Istanbul are coming to speak about their experience, so it'll be great to have all of you there. And finally, how many of you in the audience are dev shops, resellers, cloud resellers, or agencies? Development agencies, website hosters? Yes, definitely. So we've recently launched our Solutions Partner Program, where for your client needs, if you use DigitalOcean, we want to incentivize you, right? Many of you are already doing it because some of your customers want affordable and simple solutions, and sometimes you think we are the best solution there. But now we want to incentivize you. So based on your customers' billing, we will provide you incentives, discounts, all of that. So go to digitalocean.com and sign up to become a solutions partner today. Our team will get in touch with you to understand your business and how we can become partners and help you out, right? With that, that's the end of my talk. And if you have any specific questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'm also carrying some DigitalOcean stickers. You can meet me outside. I would love to have a conversation with you, understand your business and how we can probably engage going forward. Thank you.